Okay, so I lost predictions again because for the one time I wanted Nia Jax to win, that was secured my victory after how strongly they've booked her for fucking months. Of course she loses. Of course. So, as we were both trying to figure out what punishment we should do for this, Nate came up with the idea to watch like either a really bad The Rock movie or a bad John Cena movie, since he's a bastard man who betrayed all of us. As you can tell by the title, I chose The Marine! Mostly because I wanted to do The Tooth Fairy, but it wasn't streaming anywhere for free. And then even all the ones where you had to pay is stuff I don't have and I don't care enough, so I went with The Marine! Because it's free on Tubi. You can watch it right now. I don't really recommend you watch it. Like, it is far from the worst movie I've ever seen. I have seen so much worse. But it's not a good movie. It is a very much a 2006 lame action movie. PG-13 action movie. And it's so funny thinking about this. First of all, it became a franchise. But clearly this movie was the starring vehicle for John Cena. And then somehow it became the Miz's franchise. I almost want to check out the other ones, except the second one. I know that's Ted DiBiase Jr., doesn't really matter, but like from the third on, there's like, what, 6, 7 of these things? Just to see how it turned into the Miz's movies. But anyway, for this one, obviously, as if you've been following us, you know I don't go a whole lot into detail, plot by plot by plot, just things that stuck out to me. If you want to see a better review, go watch Brian Zane. He did a really good review a few years back. For me, I'm just going to say straight off the bat, this movie could have been subtitled John Cena Jumps Away from Explosions, because that's like most of the movie. But if you want a quick rundown, he's a Marine who gets dishonorably discharged because at the opening there's a group of Marines in Iraq because it's 2006, and he's like, I spot them. Like, well, wait for backup. No, I can't do that. So he, the whole action movie thing of I'm going in alone, and he fought everyone. And my God, is this movie 2006? Like, it is that 2006 movie fight scene thing where the camera's doing this, and it's right here, and there's like 5,000 cuts, so I don't know what the fuck is happening. Like, if we peel back the curtain a bit and break kayfabe, when we do the movies, we try not to be on our phone, be on the computer, so we can focus on the movie. I was eating at the time, and I was afraid to look away, because anyone I tried to take a bite, it's like so much stuff happened on the screen, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. But then he frees his Marine buddies from Al-Qaeda, because obviously that's who it was, from almost killing them. And then they're in like the middle of this war zone, and there's helicopters flying around, there's explosions going off, and the one guy's like, how are we going to get around that? And John Cena playing John Triton! What a fucking action movie name that is. But, he gives that cool action guy line, we're not. We're gonna go through it. And then we smash cut to afterwards. What the fuck happened? I understand not everything's gonna be explained, and you want a cool movie line to start out with, cool action guy line, but no, I want to know how the fuck he got through that. How did all of them get through that? Because there was a helicopter! Bombs! Explosions! Anyway, so we cut to him as like a security guard now, and there's a jackass who got upstairs and like it's like some stalker creep, there to yell at his ex-girlfriend. So John Triton and his security guard buddy there, who's a little rotund like me, they go to bring him down, and he's of course got an entourage, and the guy tries to hit John Triton. And the fat security guard's like, hey, whoa, like, sometimes you deal with this all the time, you just gotta let it go. And one of the asshole boyfriend's goons was like, oh, tell your boyfriend there to calm down. It's like, sometimes you gotta let go, but today's not that day. Because, what instigates the thing is homophobia. Did I mention this was 2006? So John Triton throws the dude through the fucking window, and of course gets fired. So that's his plot. The B plot is Robert Patrick, who is having the time of his goddamn life in this movie. He really made it watchable, because John Cena is still like stoic action guy. This is before he let him, cut loose and be more goofy and fun. So, Robert Patrick is the leader of this gang, bank robbers. They go and steal some diamonds, and there's apparently the guy in the vault was in on it somehow. It's like, no, you gotta hit me to make it look good for the cops. So Robert Patrick just shoots the guy. It's like, that looks real. And then he leaves, and they have to get a new car. The one, I'm just gonna say, the black guy in the group, because that comes up later, he steals this Cadillac instead of the minivan because they want to be discreet. And after going back to John Cena, or John Triton, after he got fired, him and his wife, who was the wife from Nip Tuck, is like, I know that someone. I know her somewhere when she first showed up. It's like, oh yeah, so she's been through some shit if you've ever seen that show. So they're just going to go somewhere because he got fired. Obviously, he threw a guy through a window. That made the news, by the way. Slow news day, I guess. So, they go out, they head out, they're like, we're going to go somewhere. And the two groups intersect at the gas station. And it's right here. They're like, when you first meet the robbers, they seem like they have everything together. And that Robert Patrick's going to be like the loose cannon. Because they're all like, all in the bank. They're all like, it's like a diamond bank, a diamond thing. I don't know, it's bank, that's diamonds, fucking. But they're all like acting like customers until he pulls out his gun, and then they all like, oh my god, oh what's going on? And this is really coordinated thing. But then you get to the gas station, it's where they all meet up, and like they're the most conspicuous group of people you'll ever fucking see. John Triton just walks in, gets some stuff, get a Diet Coke for his wife, get some gas, and they're all like eyeballing him really suspiciously. Then a cop pulls up, highway patrol, and they're me like, oh my god, the cops, and just, but they would stand out. But still, the cops making small talk with Robert Patrick. Rome is his character's name. But they're making small talk there, and the black guy, like, almost he's gonna win. The black guy comes over and just shoots the cop. Like, oh hell! So then there's a fucking shootout. John Triton, the woman of the group, like, bashes John Triton with a fucking fire extinguisher, but he's John goddamn Cena, so he just shrugs off that concussion and tries to get up, and then everything explodes. That's the first explosion. He's blown back. But again, he's John Cena. John Triton! And he survives, somehow. They steal the truck. The gang steals John Triton's truck with his wife, kidnaps her, goes. Triton pulls the other cop out of the car that backed up, and so it's like, here, thankfully he had a vest on, but he's like, here, hold this, you're getting pressure. And then he goes and steals the cop car, and he drives down, and he's on the radio, and it's like, this is John Triton, I'm a Marine, blah, blah, blah. Like, he gives all the information about his call and going on, and I just want to be like, I want a scene of the dispatch guy. He's like, who the fuck is John Triton? Because he said his name like they should know who he is. It's so ridiculous. So then, chase sequence ensues. He catches up to the gang. They shoot the ever-loving shit out of this fucking car. And it leads to one of the, not Frank Grillo, because I looked that up, thought it was him, but he's like, makes her respond like, this guy's like the Terminator. So, of course, you get a shot of Robert Patrick's eyes in the rear view, like... And the thing that I always wondered about movies like that, when they make this cute little reference to the actor being in another movie, in universe, what is that movie like? Does anyone bring up that, hey, you look like the actor from this movie? Or do we just not acknowledge it? Is it someone different? Like in Last Action Hero, when the kid took Schwarzenegger into the video store to try to convince him that Schwarzenegger's character in Last Action Hero in the movie is Schwarzenegger, and the stand is Stallone in Terminator 2? It's always a thing I've always wondered. Anyway, so they do make a great moment where, like, it's like, Rob Patrick's like, I want you to shoot this guy. Well, what do you think we've been doing? Missing. Yeah. But shoot, I don't think cop cars are this fucking strong either. And eventually they go over, like, there's a embankment, and they jump over a couple things, cars get fucked up, and there's an embankment. The cop car, like, flies overhead, and they shoot the shit out of it, and it explodes. But you do see John Triton fall down, like, fall out of it. Somehow he survives. Well, I'm pretty sure it'd be out of commission before that. Ooh, excuse me. But the truck is out of commission, so they take John Triton's wife, whose name I honestly can't remember. I don't remember a lot of these names. So they take her, and now it's just this kind of like trudging through the forest, a lot of running through the forest for John Triton, and the cops are there, and you meet there's one cop who seems like he's the head investigator on this, like a lieutenant or something. He knows what's going on, and all the while Robert Patrick is getting calls on his flip phone because it's 2006. I kind of miss flip phones, and there's a mysterious, like, partner. Like, he's going to get half the diamonds and, all that stuff. And we don't see him. We'll come back to that. So, I'm going to summarize, like, because there's a lot of just kind of, like, for as much as we want to make this a John Cena action vehicle, there's very little, like, interaction between his hero and the main bad guys. He's just him running after them. Every time Robert Patrick's on screen, though, is great. Like I said, he's having the time of his life. He's hamming it up. He's enjoying this. Robert Patrick's good in, like, anything. Like, if you can't make it good, it ain't good. Which is why the last seasons of X-Files were not good. I tried. He couldn't save that. So, eventually there's a moment where they're trudging through the swamp, and the black guy is mad. And he's like, why are we throwing out here? Why are we doing this? Like, well, it's like, someone had to go and shoot a cop. And Roger's like, yeah, that's someone's shoot. It's like, oh, it's the black man. Oh, you blame the black man all the time. Like, yeah, you fucking did it. You talking about cop car getting blown up when they were leaving the diamond exchange. He did that too with the fucking Israeli rocket launcher. And even one of the guys points out, like, yeah, the black man. He was going to go shoot him because he's a hair trigger. He's a crazy son of a bitch. Then Robert Patrick just shoots him to prove he's in charge or some shit. Well, that was the reason. I know the reasoning, movie-wise. It's so that John Triton can have a big fuck-off knife the guy had. So he's just running through the forest with a big fuck-off knife. And eventually, they all meet up at this shack in the swamp. And there's a joke. There's been this running joke about the black guy and how he doesn't like rock candy. He doesn't like the woods. He hates going to camp. And there's a moment where he goes, I think Robert Patrick jokes, like, oh, you don't know brothers don't camp? Like, actually, I did go to camp once. And there's this camp counselor there. Johnny, it was just like, his name was Tim, but he wanted to know Johnny Whiplash. And first, he offered me friendship. Then he offered me rock candy. Then he offered me something I never should have accepted. Pedophilia! That's the joke! Molestation! Funny, right? 2006! Like, this whole thing is played for laughs. Like, Robert Patrick, his character is almost about to bust out laughing. He's like, hey, go fix the generator. He's like, well, we said here, don't leave this room, right? He's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, Jesus Christ. It was like that moment from Gremlins where Phoebe Cates is the whole, like, Santa story, only played for laughs, but the laugh is that a camp counselor molested a kid. Isn't that funny? And that's why he doesn't like cops or rock candy. Oh my god. You know, I actually have a rock candy story too. Why I don't like rock candy. I used to love rock candy. It's my mom used to make it for, like, school functions, church things, around Christmas, you know. And what my story is sometimes one time she had the baking sheet oven in there, sitting on the stove, and I love, just, rock candy had a cool feeling. So, my dumb ass went, oh, cool, went to touch it, and it had not cooled yet. So I remember the strings pulling up, and the tips of these fingers were burned, blistered. I had to dip in salt water for a while, for a couple of weeks. It sucked. I can't have rock candy to this day because it traumatized me. So, my rock candy story is a lot better than what the fuck that movie was doing. I don't know what the fuck that was. 2006 was wild, y'all. I lived through it. So anyway, sorry about that tangent, but it's not any less weirder than the tangent the movie went on with rock candy. Triton kills that guy with a big fuck-off knife. He bursts through the wall like the fucking Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! Maybe they should have got Macho Man, but... So he breaks through the wall, fights that guy, kills the guy. One of the other guys goes out to try to fix the boat and also see what that guy's doing. Triton kills him. So now it's just Robert Patrick and the one girl, the one woman, who also, had a whole back and forth with Triton's wife. Eventually she breaks free, and they have the designated chick fight. You gotta have that. She doesn't die yet. Cause that comes... Yeah, that's later. But somewhere along the line during this, sorry, the one cop who we've met before, who by the way did nothing to stop John Triton. Like, they meet up after the cop car exploded and landed in the creek, and you think John Triton's dead. He just shows up, he has his hands up. It's like, you must be John Triton. It's like, they have my wife. I can't condone you to do this. Like, well, you can't stop me either. It's like, John, I'll see what you do. You better hurry up. But he does nothing to stop him. Because, remember when I said there was a mystery partner? There's only someone on the phone? Guess who that was? Go and guess. It was the cop! Oh, shocking! Oh my god! Like, even if I hadn't watched Brian Zane's review, because that was kind of in the back of my mind. It's like, I'm pretty sure that guy is a crooked cop and he's in league with Rome, Robert Patrick. And it's like, even if I hadn't seen that, the movie telegraphs it so fucking easy because he's the only other guy we've seen on screen. Unless they're really going to be clever and have someone else for a sequel bait. And this was way before we did that. Clearly, that cop is the guy who wants the other halves of the diamonds. So that becomes a thing. So... he gets killed, fight out, shoot out, blah, 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 blah. They drag Rob Patrick's wife, that's when they have the chick fight, and then, John Triton's wife, chick fight, blah, blah, blah. If you've been following along, you get what I mean. So then Robert Patrick shoots up the fucking shack, the generator, it explodes, and again, John Cena jumps from an explosion, and he goes and falls, then a police boat shows up. And he's like, I'm John Triton. Like that means something. And the policeman is rightfully arresting this guy in the middle of the forest. And I must have, gotten distracted? Or something. Because they have that, and then somehow Triton has the boat. So he's stolen 2 police vehicles at this point. And then... they have to ditch the cop car. Because they stole the... Robert Patrick and the woman took John Triton's wife, stole the car the crooked cop showed up in. Like, oh, we have to ditch this car. So they get a truck driver to stop, and she shoots him. Yeah. And then, it goes from that... I shit you not, this is the transition. It goes from that scene. They're in the middle of nowhere. No one's around. Boom. Dead. Steal a truck. Cut to John Triton on the police boat, and you hear on the radio, oh, we found the truck driver, and there was this truck disturbance. Like, who the fuck called that in? How did they find it that quickly? Like, okay, we went from night to day, and the truck driver it was day, when we got to John Triton, it's night, so maybe there's a course of time, but it's like that, as far as the movie goes. There's, no consistency of how long things have happened. So then, the climax happens at this, this marina, because Robert Patrick called his one buddy provided the first car. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot there was this whole joke about it. Originally it was going to be a minivan, but the black guy's like, brothers don't drive, black man don't drive a minivan. Black man don't drive a minivan. So he stole the Cadillac. So, he's in the... Robert Patrick's... Okay, they hadn't killed the woman. Remember this, Robert Patrick in the truck. They're having a fight. John Triton's on the back of the thing. Jumps on, opens the door, grabs the woman, and hurls her out of the door just in time for a bus to slam into her. Now, she didn't pancake because it's PG-13, but she goes through the window, and she had the bag of diamonds, so they fall on the ground, and now they're red. So they're blood diamonds now! And then there's a big fight with Robert Patrick and John Cena, which is kind of hilarious, because, you know, almost 2 decades later, they star again in Peacemaker, and also fight. What did these guys beef? It ends with the truck, and his wife is handcuffed to a bar in the back. The truck, like, oh, Robert Patrick is trying to just slam Cena into everything because he's hanging on to the side because now the door won't open. I guess he fucking locked it. I don't know. And he is in full Super Cena mode. He's like being bashed into like buildings, and he's just shrugging all this off. Nothing stops John Triton! Until eventually the truck goes out of control. He gets in there, knocks it out, truck's out of control, lands in the river, wife's gonna die. Triton, Rome, having fight. One point, Robert Patrick comes up with a sledgehammer and slams John Cena in the ribs, like, you'll find that funny later, John. And it eventually ends, naturally, with a big fucking explosion that John Cena jumps away from. And he survives again. And he dives into the river to save his wife. And he's like, you know, there's a bar, and he can't get the handcuffs, so he just, I'm John Cena, and rips the bar off. And even though she's been down under the water for like 5-6 minutes, of course it's a PG-13 action movie, so John Cena does CPR and saves her. But then, fucking Robert Patrick comes again, all burned the fuck up like Freddy Krueger. Cena just, there's a fight, Cena wraps a chain around his neck and breaks his neck in the middle of the swing. And that's how it ends. Cop cars are showing up, John and his wife are reunited, it's like, we should have gone to the beach, ha ha ha. End of movie. He would be arrested, alright? Let's get that out of the way. He'd be fucking arrested. Because, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, that was my very, very, very simple recap of The Marine starring John Cena. And, yeah, I guess I was punished. Again, it's not good. It's not terrible. Robert Patrick was campy enough to make it entertaining, but I don't know how the fuck this became a franchise. I don't know how this became a franchise song in The Miz. How the hell did that happen? At least John Cena went on to do bigger and better things, and then he broke all of our hearts. I will say, I'm recording this after I saw Raw yesterday. I'm kind of glad I waited, because I wanted to do it yesterday, but just wasn't in the mood. Because, like, that heel promo was amazing. And that one kid is scarred for life. I love the kid. Like, that kid right there wearing my merch, he's part of the problem. And the kid's like, what did I do? Like, if he's not a plant, he's gonna have some trauma. But it was great. So, that's all my thoughts on that movie. Shit. I guess if you want to check it out, it is on Tubi. If not, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you want any of this to try to make sense, you can watch it. I guess I'll be back. Well, Nate and I will be back on camera doing WrestleMania predictions here soon. And by God, this time I'm going to win. I'm going to have my title back, and you ain't going to see me doing whatever punishment we come up with. So till then, I am still the king, regardless of anything. See ya.